Okay. All right. Well, welcome to another coffee break. This is episode, what are we up to? Like 57? Yeah, I think so. That I don't remember the last time that I actually hosted this, but it seems like it's been moving forward, and I'm happy to hear that. So, as you know, it's basically an opportunity for us to chat, to kind of like go around the table of the group that is joining. So we're thankful for you joining us today. And so I'm gonna get started with you guys. So who wants to raise a hand if you have any questions, anything that it's kind of like in the back of your head about the APS services, and how can we help you out today? There we go. All right, Babette, you were quick on the trigger there.
Yeah, I'm just waiting. Like,
yeah,
like kind of buying a ticket for like very famous events or something, right?
You have
Put you in
a
a queue.
bot.
Yeah.
You have a bot there.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Tell us, how can we help you?
Actually, I'm just wondering in the Autodesk, the viewer, the 3D viewer. So you already have a markup plugin or extension at the viewer. So I was just wondering if you have a experience to just show me or walk us around how to save the, when you draw a line or arrow or cloud on top of drawing in 2D we're talking, and how we store it in database so you could retrieve it again and again. Because it seems you already done all the job, your developers in this extension. If is that possible?
Yeah, I think Petter just wrote something about it, right?
Not about the markups, probably. Hi guys, but I think
Petter.
Again, hey, Abid, good to see you. So I think basically the markup extension does support persisting the markups and then reloading them, but it's basically where you actually store the markups, we leave that to you. So basically the markups extension, it provides two methods. One that can generate an SVG string that you are free to store wherever you want, whatever kind of database you might be using. And then there is another method that can actually read this SVG string back into actual markups. That's pretty much it. I forgot the names of the two methods, but it's like a restore data, I think. And
I probably read a post from you, Peter.
Yeah. Hi, Alex. I may have written a blog post about that some time back, but too many of them.
Yeah, I guess it's the same with the measurement. I have managed to deal with the measurement extension to do all of it. I mean, you get the XYZ, the location, and it's in the end the SVG, and then you store it in any type of database, and then you can reload it. I guess the same method, but it's just great.
Yeah. So if also you didn't know, like there is now, like we have a chance to do like filtering and all that stuff within the blog. So something like just markup, you start getting to see a lot of different like blog posts from like Petter, Joao, Xiaodong. I'm pretty sure there's some Michael ones around here. So definitely, yeah, I'll say look into it. But I think what Petter is saying is, I guess it doesn't work like the viewer states, right? That you're something else with the restoring of the data instead of like restoring like states itself within the viewer.
Well, that's a good question because so there is a separate thing that's saving and restoring viewer state, right? That stores information such as what objects are selected, where your camera is, the direction in which it's looking. And I think there's actually this logic implements a mechanism that actually goes through every extension that's currently active in the viewer, and it asks each extension, hey, is there some state you want me to persist for you? And then if that extension returns anything, the viewer.getState actually includes that in the bulk JSON. So now the question is whether the markup extension communicates with the viewer through this mechanism. That I need to double check.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. It does not.
Perfect.
Does not.
Great.
Oh, it does not. Sorry, I thought you
Yep,
said.
does not. Yep.
Okay.
It's because I'm using the viewer as standalone. I mean, I'm using it just without any of cloud. I mean, totally sometimes offline, right? Because it supports the
Right.
PDF. It's like for
Right,
free
right.
tool you have around you. It's like I treat it as a Bluebeam today. But the only things I was asking in the Stack Overflow, if there is an event when you click on the bar, not when, because for instance, if you have the markup and you have the extension, when you click on it, it opens another bar and then you decide what type of measurement you want to do. But basically I was looking for an event when you click on the bar. So I want to load all the let's say the measurement from a cloud database.
Okay.
For measurements, it's a little different. It has a separate restore and retrieve API. So it's similar to to markup, but it's different. And then to trigger on the events, there's a whole separate system of events as well. There is a blog post I did on it a long time ago called Area Markup Tool, and that persists the measurement tools, the measurement tool results to a Node.js database thing.
Yeah.
So the area planning one?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's got an event system to trigger on. I'm not sure if the event you're looking for is in there, but it sounds like it's similar.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, I was working on your blog post. I got most of the things I want. Just can I share my screen so I can maybe just to not misunderstand each other? So I'm not sure.
I'll also post the link there if anyone wants to have a quick access to it.
I was just trying to find a way because here you can see desktop.
You see, we have a full house today. I guess my blog, my post in LinkedIn about me being the host attracted some people.
I guess you are able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
So basically I have this app, right? So if you see in the side where the can console log, so technically I can, for instance, if I measure, let's say here, so you fire an event because I decide about all the event, I link them to each time I decide when to finish, when to continue, when you decide the measurement. And also if I just click here in one of those buttons, you could see all the events here for, let's say, this is for the measurement. So you got all of them. And this is exactly what I need for my job, what I'm working on. But what I was thinking, if there is a possible way that when I click on the measure, so when I click on this, if there is an event that I load all the measurement, because this is where I was looking, and similarly with the markup. So in the markup also, I believe there is also an event similar. So when you decide to draw something, you could fire it and then you save it exactly. I mean, to the to database. So that's what I was thinking about. Just those events here in the bar, urban bar.
All right, so Alex it's sending something in there. Basically, add event listener on change events.
The object. Okay, tool name measure.
Yeah, the tool manager triggers the tool manager triggers events every time you click a button on the toolbar.
Can you filter out with the tool name like that with the measure?
Yeah, Alex just posted it's the word tool.
Okay.
They've each got different names. I mean, that's one way to do it. The other one's to override the prototype of the measure tools start system.
Yeah. Yeah, I will try it actually, because I mean, I'll try. If it's it seems like add event listener, Autodesk, Yeah, but because this is when like change event and viewing tool. Yeah, I guess this is viewing the tool change event. Maybe this is a trigger every button in the. I'm not. I haven't.
Not every, but if extension has tools.
Oh, let's see.
Yes. And snapper, magnifying glass, and measure.
Yeah. So it seems like all those three get called, but it says
active true or false.
Active. Yeah.
Yeah.
So why does I would think only this one should be the one getting active, right? Not the other ones. Oh, but the snapper it's needed because you're gonna start doing measuring, and then magnify glass.
Oh, you wanted to trigger on these buttons, on the actual measure tool buttons.
So for example, when he clicks here for the first time, right?
Oh, for the first time? Okay.
Yeah, so that's this one.
Yeah, so that's the measure. Look for the measure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. So this is, I guess, what I want, because when you click on it, that means you could retrieve the measurements, you store them in your database, and then at the same time you can call a method from the measure extension, whereas you get the array of the and then you could show them at the canvas.
So 10 points for Alex. Good job.
Thanks, Alex. I owe you a beer now.
Okay.
I will.
Awesome.
I will save it somewhere.
Cool. Thank you. Let's see who else has a question for us.
Maybe not a question, but if it's interesting. On previous coffee break, I presented a project LMVQL, and I have some updates for that. If it's interesting, I can share.
So let me just quickly ask the rest if they don't have any other questions, and if not, I can leave you towards the end of it, and that way you can show us what's the progress on it. Sounds good? All right. So anyone else? Any questions for us?
Maybe I will have a very short question, and the answer should be very short. I'll just share my screen. In that case, it should be easier to ask. Share, and we see it. So now you can see my screen, yes? How I produced this environment behind, I don't know how, but it's okay for me. It's okay, but I don't know how I made it. I used the photo booth environment, and this what you see, that is old warehouse that is DBS file inventory. I don't know how I get it, but it's okay, but I don't know how.
Okay, I think there is something in these settings, I guess, for the viewer as with the environment that you're selecting. But
when you go to the settings and look at the environments, right, you see a list of predefined environment presets where each one of them is basically this spherical background. And I think if I remember correctly, Michael, you even had some resource on creating custom backgrounds. Is that correct?
Yeah, if you want to create a custom DDS, that's also possible. Yeah, they're pretty low resolution. They're like 128 by 128. They're really tiny. Yeah, you can double or quadruple it if you want a high resolution.
Nedeljko, if you open the viewer settings, clicking that gear icon,
see that little settings button, down the bottom.
The gear icon in the toolbar.
I just did an annotate there. Yep. Yes.
There is a tab called environments.
Environment is photo booth.
It's weird. Yeah, I don't know why it's called photo booth when it's this warehouse. So there's a couple more that you can play with.
That's weird. Yeah, photo booth is actually photo booth, but that's weird. Yours is showing. This looks like sounds like a regression.
Really big photo booth.
Yeah, that sounds like a regression.
Yeah.
Yeah, photo booth definitely is one of the most used environments for the RAS renderer for Revit. So
Yeah,
it's like one of the main ones.
can you try
So
the
that's weird.
Riverbank or one of the others? The Riverbank one?
First, for example, was that one, simple gray. It's also
Yeah.
okay, but there is a high contrast between sides. This
Right.
is extremely because of that shape
Yeah.
here. I don't know what is.
Yeah.
So when I try everything, I found that is okay, and I applied that normally in
Your
JavaScript.
settings whenever it loads.
Yes.
Yeah, can you click on
automatically.
the Riverbank, which is just a little bit
Yeah,
further
that one.
down?
Which one?
No,
Riverbank.
yeah, a Riverbank.
Riverbank. It's like 4 lines down.
Riverbank. Where is that? Riverbank.
There we go. Yep. Okay,
So
that looks right. Okay, so it's something's wrong with the photo booth DDS.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
funny.
Yeah.
It's a regression.
here is I can choose
There. Oh, that's photo booth. Okay, that's normally photo booth.
This is photo booth.
Which one did you just click on? That
Rim highlights.
Rim highlights. Scroll around a little bit.
Yes.
Oh no, that's not it. No. That's the warm lighting. Cool light, Riverbank.
Yeah, plus I know. Plus
Yeah.
I know it has that. So
But anyway, so Nedielko, so basically the DDS images that you can add yourself are actually used for two things, just to keep that in mind. They're used both to show in the background, and they're used for image-based lighting as well. So they will also control the amount of light receiving or coming at the scene from different angles. Right? Keep that in mind that you can also use that to your advantage.
So I bet just posted something on the chat that maybe you can try also in your viewer settings. Basically, set the environment map background to false.
Yeah.
That might actually remove that. Yeah.
But you will actually see. Sorry, come again.
No, sorry, you go ahead, Peter.
But you can actually see that even if you disable the environment in the background, the kind of light that is arriving at the cabin here will remain the same, right? So again, this is just to keep in mind that the environment maps are actually used in these two ways. First, to show in the background, but you can toggle that. And second, to define the amount of light arriving at the scene at your design at different angles.
So, okay, so that is predefined behavior. Okay. Now it's clear.
And
there's no aliens.
And the first line I posted is the viewer ref current because I use React. So if you count the number of the environment, and then you could follow them because they are an array. So you go from 0, 1, 2, 3. So you decide on the one you like, and then you put the number, and then it will apply. And sometimes it took me like sometimes to understand it because sometimes it cached in the browser. So you need to clean your cookies or the local storage to apply direct.
Right. And sometimes the model that you're loading may actually be maybe defining its own preset. That's actually a feature there as well, where sometimes, but let's say you're loading an SVF that was generated from Fusion, sometimes that SVF may actually include some information in its metadata saying, oh, this model is supposed to be displayed with photo booth.
Oh, you just reminded me, Peter, actually, that's kind of funny. You just reminded me that if you want the easy way to add your own custom IBL environment lighting is to do it through Fusion. You can upload your IBL inside Fusion and then export your drawing. It will use that custom IBL.
And they will bring the custom IBL with it in the SVF?
Yep. It does the whole pipeline.
Well, there you go. I learned something new about SVFs today.
And
it's like one of those rare things no one knows about.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, also we have a big problem today because each software and this building smart company, when they define this IFC, because every time when they change the version, it's applied with a lot of preset settings and you need to go through them again. So it's really annoying when you export, let's say, from Tekla to AutoCAD architecture to Revit to all ArchiCAD and all those software. So So HIFC, it has its own, I guess, environment we need to follow sometimes.
I just added the line that you set for the set the environment map background to false, and that basically removes the picture itself on the photo booth
Great.
environment. And actually it does it in all of them. So like Riverbank, which is the one that tends to have something in the back as well, same as Plaza, it just got removed from it. So you can use that also at the time of loading.
And it's super good also, Jaime, for if you're using the viewer on the phone, or if you use it in tablet or in just in the battery, because it consumes a lot of those shadow lighting. It takes a lot of, because I've been playing around with it some times ago. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Now 10 points for you, I bet.
You mentioned IFC and I guess the handoff between all the different tools, and you're saying that IBL light is not honored. Is that right?
Sometimes
it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's just sometimes, I mean, because I have big issues when I export stuff from Tekla, which is it's the main software for the construction and rebar detailing, and it contains also the parameter. Sometimes the Forge viewer, it has hard time to read it exactly as it's supposed, so you need to map over it. So in my conclusion, HIFC, the way how you export it and what type of version and the presettings of it make different at the model derivative engine when you translate to the.
Yeah, actually, we're just working with somebody yesterday on this. That's kind of why I'm curious. So when Tekla exports an IFC file of a structure, does it contain do you know if the IFC contains the IBL information? Like it literally will say, use this HDR file, or do you know how it
I'm not super familiar with Tekla, to be honest, so I cannot just I was speaking just subjective, because I've been dealing with that, because some other department, they export it and they try and can we see it at the browser, and we want to read the data out of it. So yeah, I mean, I guess you need someone expert from Tekla who's dealing with Tekla and how they export to IFC.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah. I can chat with you later about it. Cool. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Next up, Luis. Before we give Alex a chance to showcase.
Hello, everyone. Hey. Can I share my screen?
Yeah, go for it.
Screen one. Sure. I was creating this application, this single page application, and I have some questions about the refresh token. I'm actually using the local storage to record the refresh token. If I refresh my page in here, gonna request a new SX token and so on. And I can have in my cell phone as well. But I need to know how many valid refresh token I can have at the same time in my application. Because I have in my computer and in
just the one.
but
yeah.
Just one?
Yeah.
But I can use in my cell phone at the same time.
Yeah, so
you have to use you have to use a proxy server. So you can't the security of a refresh token only validates it. You can only generate a new refresh token based on the previous refresh token. And so if you've handed that refresh token off to two different devices, and it's basically the first one wins. Whoever grabs the next refresh token generates a new one. The other one won't have it, and so therefore you get this problem. To solve it, you use a proxy server.
But I'm doing it right now. I can refresh my page in my cell phone and my computer as well. It's gonna work.
Wait, what are you saying? Isn't it that the user logs in on the mobile phone, generates a refresh token, you keep using that on the mobile phone, and the user also logs in on, let's say, a website, and it generates a refresh token, and you keep using that refresh token as well, right, in parallel?
Yeah, I'm using two at the same time.
Yeah, exactly. I think there is a limit on the number of refresh tokens, but as the others mentioned, probably the best thing would be if you just centralize.
Just use one at a time, just to make sure that sessions are not active where you don't want them to be active.
Okay. Another thing is if I log out in here, and log in again, I'm actually not requesting any kind of scope in this situation. And it's appearing like that, nothing, right? And if I allow that, I still have access in my application, my username, all the data of my user. And actually, I don't want that. I just want to authenticate my user and so on. I don't know if
yeah, so there is a blog post on how you have to log out properly, so that.
But I'm actually in log out.
But what are you doing when you say you log out?
I'm removing the. Actually, I doesn't understand what I'm saying. Yeah. In here in my code, I'm actually, where is it? I'm getting the user information using that, right? And the access token, the authentication, right?
Yeah.
But my scope in this authentication token doesn't have the user, doesn't have nothing. I'm using like, what is it? I use this, nothing, real. This is my scope. I don't have nothing, but I still can read the information about my user.
Yeah, because it's stored at the session in the browser. You need to clean
I'm
it
not storing the session. I'm asking to create a new token. It doesn't have any relationship with the section, I guess.
Peter just posted the revoke token option. So when you log out, you can revoke the permissions of the token.
I'm revoking, where is it?
No, but this is using V1 for the authorization to the authentication API.
No, I'm using V2, single page.
Ah, okay.
Didn't you have something up there that was like V1 pointing out for?
Yeah, I'm revoking the revoke 2.
Okay, so you are using the revoke.
Yeah. But
you want to restrict permissions on the user endpoint API,
yes.
right? So that doesn't have any. There's no scope service on that endpoint to do any restrictions. So that's kind of like the lowest common denominator. When you can get an authentication token, you can retrieve your user photograph and your title. The basics of the user information is part of that read scope.
But actually, it doesn't need to show in here.
Yeah.
And you want to limit it so you can't say view a photograph. Is that right?
In this case, I'm showing my photo and the name. But actually, I don't want any of the data. I don't want that.
Yeah, as far as I know that user endpoint service has no. It doesn't understand the scope token. Doesn't understand scope on the token, and so it doesn't do any restrictions. There's nothing you could put in the scope to say don't include the photograph or don't include the user properties. That would have to be a feature request. We'd have to get the service to add that. Is that what you're looking for?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, we just recently added. I don't know if there's a blog post on scoped tokens for URNs. So that would give you an idea of what the feature would be like if we added something. So scope tokens are a way of restricting the Forge viewer from viewing creating a token so it says you can only view or read this particular 3D model, but not this one, and it's in the same bucket. So that's an example of a scoped token.
Okay.
If you have the link for that blog post, can you send it, please? And then also,
I guess. Yeah.
Look for I think it's like the last blog post I did, or second last.
I guess Augusto mentioned it last coffee break that you include the URN for the viewer inside the token, so the token will be only pointing for one viewer. So, but if you use a Chrome, can you use it? Can you try to log in Chrome in secret mode, like when you do Command Shift N and try to open it when it doesn't save anything.
Yeah, doesn't save anything.
I'm
Yeah.
not sure what you mean.
No, I'm talking with Loz.
Yeah, if I open a new private browser, not gonna remember my connection or token.
So it's on the
And
session.
I can still have in multiple browsers the same application running at the same time. That's kind of okay for me, but yeah.
I just want to be conscious of the time. I still want to give Alex a chance to actually showcase what he has. If you guys have to leave, don't worry about it. I'll stay around for a couple more minutes. But and Luis, and if this persists, like please send us an email while we can start like looking into it to see this for us to be able to reproduce it as well.
Okay.
On previous coffee break, I presented a VQL project. It basically started as a filter language for Forge Viewer. It's a client-side library only. So the main feature is to be able to filter from different hierarchy levels. So, for example, if you are filtering by length, area, curtain wall, but we need only a few millions. So basically, that's it. Okay, I also put this to chat. Sorry,
Cool.
Where is Zoom? Oh, okay. Then later. And just showcase first. So it supports multiple logical filters and or multiple filtering by properties from different levels of hierarchy in model review. And probably a bit asked about some kind of SQL Server features. So now now I have them. So
nice.
For example, just simple select. We are
Nice.
selecting element ID, name, type name, and that's
Great.
it. Then with select with filter, so we are filtering by flows and selecting several properties, and aggregated functions, sum, max, mean,
Yeah.
grouping, walls, total area, max area, mean area. So it's like that. I am also try to go. I probably should stop sharing and
really cool.
put it into chat window. Yes, it's npm package. It's available here. You can find it from. Okay,
Alex, I have a question.
Yep.
What was your inspiration for the syntax for the DSL, for that query language that you built? Is it based on something? I mean, it looked interesting at first sight. It seemed like the JQ syntax that utility that you can use to query like through JSON files, but then it wasn't really that. It looks very different. So what was your inspiration for this syntax?
Probably again something SQL Server like, but we are filtering from hierarchy, so you can filter by exact path, for example, for system panels in specific level, or you can filter with asterisk notation, so skip something on that hierarchy. It's, by the way, it's also support different display and file units. So for example, let's check like that. For example, area, just area 43.3. That's it. If we are changing it to feeds, and we want to this to filter same wall, then like that.
Yeah.
Or
So
probably
consideration. It's really
Super.
Huh?
It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yep.
Amazing. I mean,
Thanks.
have you been using Kibana and Elasticsearch?
Not yet. I've heard about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really started this project as just filtering language. So I've heard some kind of feature request to do select also. Like that with groups.
Really good, Alex. Good job, man.
Thanks, star, fork, and only just use.
Sounds good.
Super fast.
Yeah.
It works on top of execute user function method of property database.
Does it support IFC?
Probably yes. I tested it with Revit files and inventor files.
Great.
But if IFC file has this property database, and it should have.
So, hey, I got a question. Got a question for you. Do you do you still load the property database in the viewer?
Yes, it's completely client-side application. It's library for extensions for viewer.
Oh, okay. Hey, just for some fun, there's a thing called SVF2 Plus coming, and if you want to try this, you know how you can use the skip database to true, and it will not load the property database. If you set it to true, and then you take out, there's like 5 files, and there's 3 of them you don't really need. You just need the IDs. And if you, I think you need the IDX file, the vals, and the, anyway, you empty out the vals file. So it's basically, 1 kilobyte zipped. And then you just keep the ID numbers. And then you would connect those 5 files to, you'd still load those 5 files, but they would be much, much smaller. And then you would point all of that, you connect your SQL database to the viewer instead. And so anyway, the point is you're moving the properties off the client, off the browser, which takes forever to load sometimes, and you're putting it into your, much faster, SQL database with all the APIs. And we're essentially doing the same thing. We're moving the properties off the client and making them go through a server.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's something to look forward to.
Yes, for sure. Currently, if you load several files into viewer, it's up to you to provide models into query function for that package.
This is really, really nice, though. It's nice to see a SQL interface.
Yes, for sure.
We'll do some plugs into accelerators whenever we reach out someone that's looking for this.
Nice.
Okay, so didn't mean to cut anyone off, but let me wrap up the coffee break. And before I wrap up, I just have also announcement for upcoming accelerators. So Copenhagen Sustainability Focus Accelerator, we're almost at capacity. for on-site. So actually, that's pretty good to hear. I see some faces here that are going to be joining us during that week. Today, we announced as well, at the same time that we're going to have the Nice accelerator, we're going to have a Medellin accelerator. So we're going back to Colombia as well. It is going to be in parallel. So in order for us to cover the two different time zones, we're going to have the Nice one and also Medellin on the same dates. This one is almost full. I think maybe we have like 1 or 2 seats left, not that many. This one, since just got announced today, we have plenty of seats. So if you guys are interested in joining us in person in Colombia, definitely come around. Virtual seats.
Virtual seats, yes.
Yeah, so virtual seats we do have for Nice and also for Copenhagen. We might have a couple ones as well, mainly on the Americas time zone. So yeah, feel free to send they're all hybrids. So you're still kind of like join us virtually as well. And with that also, so next coffee break, March 22nd. I don't know if it will be Augusto or myself or someone else taking the next coffee break. I'm going to be in Copenhagen, so I might actually end up doing it from Copenhagen. But yeah, looking forward for the accelerator in Belo Horizonte, Brazil. Oh, me too, for sure. But yeah, we don't know when that's gonna be. But I have to check with the Brazilian part of the team in order to like set up that as well. But with that, I want to say thank you to all of you for joining us today. It was quite a very active coffee break. I saw that we solved a couple of questions pretty quickly, not only from us, but also from the community, which is actually pretty cool. And I really enjoy that. People like kind of like helping each other within this APS community. So with that, I want to say thank you, and I will catch you over next time. And have a good rest of your day, wherever you are.
Okay, see you. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.